I haven't been paying as much attention to the speedrun stuff. But just to double check, you guys haven't actually found the bug with the bash beasts yet, right?
No, so Yue has been kind of hinting at a big skip, or I guess more like a big mechanic that will allow probably the next huge skip. So already in terms of speedrunning this game, we've done all the levels kind of, seemingly optimally. And then for the levels that are the longest, that is the 4th and 5th level, Ice and Lava. For Ice, we have basically nothing to skip anything interesting. It's just do it as fast as possible, and it takes a very long time. It's the longest level, 16 minutes.
Yep.
And then for Lava, we have the Cactus skip, where Yue will probably at least know where it is, and so he'll show off the area where it is, but I believe he's going to do a kind of skipless natural route run.
Whoops, get up there.
And so you'll see that when we get to it. But that skip basically turns
Damn
Lava
it.
World.
Too much damage.
How many hits can you take?
3.
Okay.
That skip kind of turns Lava World from like 16 minutes into 6. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. There was actually another skip that I don't think you guys ever found. It ended up being slower than what you guys ended up finding with the
Lava World.
Yeah. Whoops. Okay. Wow. Barely made it out of there. If you drag, that first battery.
Yeah.
If you drag that all the way back to the beginning of the level, you can actually boost yourself over that wall.
Yeah, actually.
But what you guys ended up finding was faster, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, I think Panda actually did find that one.
Okay.
Or maybe it was Human Fist. I don't know. They were both screwing around with a lot of things. And then, yeah, the end conclusion was...
Okay, this is actually intentional because it saves a bit of time.
There's no need because Cactus skip.
Yeah.
That was found by a guy named Cactus Q17. Haven't seen him in a long time. Actually, he was working on getting this game running in Hourglass. And trying to do a TAS. And he actually found one really neat trick in Ice World, which I'll point out to you, you probably haven't seen. But you can't really do it. It's like a pixel perfect, frame perfect jump that skips a section of puzzling for about like 40 seconds or something.
Okay. Alright, so now this is the first boss fight. Suddenly it's an all-way shooter. So yeah, so this is on a bit of a timer. Like, it's not vulnerable until you see this thing, but then you have as much time as you need to do a third of its life bar, which, there is an actual life bar, but it won't close up again until you've done enough damage. But then you just have to kind of fight these things off while you wait for it to open up again.
So I'd say, honestly, these things are the factor that drives speedrunners crazy the most. The waiting is just kind of annoying, but, tolerable. Some of the bosses later on have different mechanics that make them, like, seriously challenging to get consistent strats for. And, of course, the monsters are just always irritating you.
Yeah. If I don't die to any of the bosses, I'll be amazed, honestly. But we'll see how it goes.
Dying on a boss also wastes a huge amount of time compared to almost any other death.
Yep.
By the way, the boss music is awesome. As well as all the other music.
Yeah, there's a couple of camera clipping bugs with the boss cutscene that we never bothered to fix. Maybe if I do have some stuff I want to work on sometime in the next couple of months on this game, so maybe I'll work on fixing those camera cutscenes, but I don't know, it's kind of low priority.
Implement in-game timer.
Yeah, that's the big one that I want to do. Like, so you can actually... Like, right now it tracks your best time, but it doesn't tell you what your time was until you go back to the menu screen. Something I definitely want to add to it is it will just show... Maybe there's an option or something in the options menu. It will show you the game time either, at all times, or maybe just after you've beaten the level or something like that.
Yeah, either one would be great.
So one thing about this game is that basically every level introduces a new mechanic of some kind. In this case, well, there's actually 2 new mechanics. Whoops. Okay, I did not mean to do that. Let's try that again. Okay, there's the 2 new mechanics in this stage. Well, one of them is these grapple points, which you can shine your light on, and you'll grab onto it. The other one you'll see later. It's another power-up that I'll be picking up. This is just a weapon power-up. It makes my gun more powerful, so it's nothing hugely special, but it's nice to have for some of the fights.
This is the spacer meme right here.
Yep.
Pretty soon you'll pick up the speed booster.
So as far as the whole timing aspect, was that something that they had planned even before you joined the project, or did you?
I guess I don't actually know what they were. I mean, they knew from the start that they wanted to try to make something that was kind of speedrun friendly. Okay, there's some crazy boost you can do with this thing that like skips this section, but it's really inconsistent, so I'm not gonna try it because it only saves like 10 seconds. Whoop. Or more if I keep accidentally losing my spot. You can actually fling yourself all the way up here if you let go of the grapple point while you're still moving towards it. You'll get a big old speed boost. And that's sort of that was an unintentional mechanic that we decided to leave in because it was cool.
If you've gotten comfortable with the lantern boost at some point, you should just show off what one looks like at some point.
Oh, well, there's definitely a couple of spots where I'll be trying, and it's just that one in particular is pretty difficult. So.
In fact, actually, if you saw just there, he got a boost off of that one. That was a very minor boost, and it just catapulted into a wall that is not very useful.
Whoops, whoop. This part can be deceptively difficult because all these guys are chasing you.
Honestly, this is, in terms of speedrunning, this is also one of the sections of this level that we hate the most. Just because those guys, just that little bit of RNG, and they can just get in your face.
Yep.
No chat, that is not a Murloc.
So I wanted to get this game into the main marathon, and unfortunately Mike said no unreleased games, and when he was putting the list together back in like September, we hadn't actually released the game yet. It didn't get released until the 10th of October, I believe. I know it was early October. I'm pretty sure it was the 10th of October. And if I can get through this section without dying, then I will be happy. No matter what else happens in this run, if I can get through this section without dying.
Wow.
Dang it.
Those things.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty difficult section, especially because the checkpoint's kind of far apart. Oops, what am I doing?
Yeah, this section is not your friend, which is why speedrunners actually skip a substantial chunk of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can just jump up here. What am I doing? Maybe? Come on. I know there's a way to do it, but I don't. Whatever. I'm just gonna do it the long way. You can jump up and grab one of the grapple points, but I forget exactly where you need to shine the light in order to do it.
The one up to the right. This one, in fact, when you're standing up.
Okay,
That's
alright.
the one you go up to.
I'm just gonna take it slow now. If it wasn't obvious already, then your life bar in this game basically consists of
Screen fading.
yeah, the screen will start to fade as you take damage, and when it's really dark like this, you're on the verge of death. You can take 3 hits. There's 2 ways you can restore your health. You can either hit a checkpoint, or the enemies will drop health that you can pick up. See, there's one lantern boost coming up that I might try for, see if I can get it, because it's not terribly dangerous to screw it up.
As far as like complexity of like controls and difficulty of playing this game, like it's a pretty easy game to pick up. The controllers are very, very straightforward, and then stuff like the lantern boost is probably like the most complicated tech there really is in this game.
Okay, I must have been thinking of a different spot, because maybe it's this one?
Yeah.
Almost had it. Whoops.
And
Yeah.
and as you can see there, like it's funky.
Ah.
The physics are kind of odd, but once you get used to it, it's really, really easy to be consistent at it.
Yeah, like I said, it was an unintentional mechanic that once we discovered, it's like, you know what, that's cool, we're gonna leave it in. Just something for the people who want to try all kinds of funny tricks.
And you can get some really crazy ones too. Basically, the lantern boost, like, it doesn't really seem to be respective of how fast you're currently going. It just, you grapple onto the thing, as you go. Basically, the way you do that is you shine your glare towards the lantern, and it starts pulling you towards, and that gives you a little acceleration towards the lantern. And what you do is you just let go of the glare, and it will release you and just keep you with the momentum that you had, and so you'll just pick up a speed boost and just catapult forward. And basically, you can kind of, if you think about like in actual like astronomy, you know, the way they'll like send a space shuttle like around the moon or whatever to get like the gravity slingshot effect. You can do that with a grapple point, where if there's a grapple point here and you're going this way, you can suddenly be going this way really, really fast. And it works out really, really well. And there's just some hilarious moves you can do. You can get a lot of speed.
Yep. So this is the other power-up you find in this, or the other new mechanic introduced in this level. To get the slide power-up, there's these slide spots every, like basically for the entire rest of the game. There's going to be a ton of these because gotta go fast.
Chat, it looks like a Unity platformer because it is a Unity platformer.
Yeah, no, it is a Unity platformer. We made this in Unity. We actually discovered some really annoying limitations in the Unity editor while we were making this, just as far as like what size of the levels we could make.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, like the what we ended up having to do, like the final versions of the levels are all one map, but we had to build them in pieces because the Unity editor would just choke if we tried to make too big of a level. So we ended up having to edit the the 3 pieces by hand. Like I think they were all in like 3 pieces or something like that. And then we had a script that would join them together and make the final one.
Interesting.
Like, because we didn't want to try to mess around with like asynchronous loading where it would like load bits of the level as you were playing, because now it's even more error prone.
That's mentioned a poor user experience.
Yeah, so we just, and if you couldn't tell, like the entire level's like wrapped around a cylinder that you're kind of facing down the center of, so the gravity is constantly changing. Whoops. Which was another fun thing to have to deal with the Unity engine, because like the stock physics only expect one gravity vector. But you know, that wasn't terribly hard necessarily to tweak, but we basically had to write a bunch of code that would like orient things the right way and have it constantly be getting pulled towards the center. It's all kinds of weird little stuff we had to do. Oops, dang it. That had been lit, I might have made that.
Yeah, you can actually lantern boost the crosshair, but that one is actually really touchy and difficult.
If you jump off the wall while you're doing a slide, if you do it at the right time, you can actually keep the slide speed, but it's a pretty small window. And I don't know if there's any places where it actually saves you a significant amount of time. It's more of an interesting curiosity than anything else. I'd love to be proven wrong on that, though.
How many months was the game in development for?
Too long. That's all I'll say. Too long.
That is the way with game projects.
Yeah. Well, whoops, what am I doing? That's not how you get over that pit. This is how you get over that pit. I will say though that like once we actually had decided like what the game was going to be, I think it took about 6 months.
Okay.
But
yeah, that pre-production phase where you don't have a solid idea of what your product is.
right.
That is crazy time consuming. So here is my favorite mechanic of these bosses. That is that certain ones have these. I don't really have a better name for them than like mines. You see those little explosions forming around him there. This one they're pretty tame. It'll spawn a couple of them during the closed phase, and then when it opens up, it'll just spawn them where you are. So not a huge deal. Later boss, they're kind of a huge deal.
Yeah. We'll see them be a lot more ruthless later. But some of these guys will explode, will try to crash into you and explode, and you'll hear a hiss when they spawn, so that's when you know you need to watch out. So there's a fair bit of there's a lot of thought went into audio cues and whatnot in this game, and just the way the the way the music tracks actually work is there's actually like 6 or 7 tracks all playing at once, but depending on where you are in the level and what's happening around you, it will adjust. It will constantly be adjusting the volume of those tracks and mix them together. So it's like when you're outside, you'll get a slightly different set. I guess Banjo-Kazooie, you could almost say it was kind of like Banjo-Kazooie, where except that changes the actual instruments. So it's a bit different in that, but it's a similar idea where it's constantly adjusting the various bits of music volume as you move through the level.
I hate to say that I haven't noticed, but I haven't noticed. But
Well, my brother will be very unhappy to hear you say that, because my brother actually did all the sound and music work for this game.
Nice.
does that include the composition? Because the composition, like the music, is fantastic.
Yeah, no, he wrote. Yeah, he wrote all the music, and he did. I know he did all of the sound effects. I'm not sure where he actually sourced some of them from, but yeah, he did all the sound effects work. What the hell was that? Something just some. Oh, okay.
So yeah, I also agree that like the audio cues in this game are like extremely helpful. Casual play, speedrun play, like just you will listen for those cues about things coming to kill you and so on.
There's actually a skip here, but it's really touchy, so I'm not gonna do it. You can
It's
actually.
pretty easy.
Well, I've never managed to get it, so I've never managed to get it, so it's hard. But you can actually grab this. You can actually light that thing up, but it's a pretty small window to do it before you fall too far and can't actually grab the zip line. So that's the mechanic that's introduced in this level, is the zip lines. You'll see a fair bit of those later on.
Pretty straightforward. You light up the top end and then you grab anywhere on the zip line and you slide.
Yep.
This level is probably one of my favorites because there's a lot of wall jumping type platforming.
Oops,
And
that's
I'm a
right.
fan.
I'm getting ahead of myself. That's not what I thought. That spot is not what I thought it was. It's been a little while since I played this game, so I forget like exactly what order things happen in sometimes.
Also, I never really did understand what exactly the 3 things that you like activate over the course of each level are.
Oh, well, there's a core generator in the center of the planet, and the 3 feeders are infected by the Remora, and you need to cleanse them so that it's actually feeding we call it Fostic, back into the core. So there's actually a skip here that I'm not going to do, but I'll see if I can demonstrate it. Oops, okay. There's a tiny little spot. If you jump off this wall, come on, get it.
So this is actually the harder version of this right now. We basically accidentally...
Yeah, whoops,
there you
okay,
go.
so I had it for a second there. There's a tiny little spot where the spikes don't actually kill you,
Yeah.
and you can skip a section there, but I'm going to do this section because it's kind of cool anyway. So,
Yep. But yeah, like, we even came up with a slightly easier variant of that, where basically, after shooting out those blocks, you just walk off the end, it puts you in the perfect position where you just turn left and kick off the wall from the end.
oh, okay.
That works out pretty nice.
Get out of my face. Alright.
And obviously, as you see here, you have to, like, kill these dudes and, like, do a puzzle if you go down this way, so...
Yeah, that skip probably saves at least a minute. I'm not sure exactly how much time it saves, but it's at least a minute.
Yeah. As speedrunners, we can't be bothered to do all this crap. We're slackers.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff we found like in the last couple of months weeks of development that we decided just, you know what, we're just gonna leave that in, because okay, so here's the other mechanic. Here's one of the other mechanics this level introduces is battery puzzles, where we will drag this to the socket here, and now there's an open door down below us. So so this is what you're supposed to do. You have to open this door so that you can do this slide, and then you can just jump across. But you can, in fact, just jump over the spikes. It's pretty. Like, I demonstrated the hard version of it, but like I didn't know there was an easier version, so that's news to me.
Yeah, it turns out it's just exactly wide enough of a gap where you can get across, but it is difficult. So, like, as a casual player, you're not going to figure that out. You're just going to go and do the intended route.
Yeah. Some of the geometry bugs are not obvious at all.
Yeah, honestly, like as a casual player, like I didn't catch any of these like interesting time savers. But then once you kind of understand the class of things that you can do,
Okay,
there
get
are
up
a
there.
lot of really like pretty easy,
Oh,
rewarding
come on.
skips.
Get
to do.
up there. Why am I having so much trouble climbing this stupid mushroom?
This mushroom, man.
I really like the way that the amount of light around your character represents your health.
Oh, incidentally, that's an elephant.
We watched somebody play the game on his stream right after release, and he called it a Derposaurus. So that's kind of become the unofficial staff name for that thing.
Nice. Incidentally, the speedrun that section right above is super dangerous.
Wow, I almost lost it there. Oops, no.
Fortunately, grapple points are super forgiving.
Yeah.
Looks like you have really good advantage to you walk to get grabbed.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That guy came out of nowhere.
It's actually kind of really neat because like the way the game controls and the way like you
Nope.
kind of
Stupid. Alright, you die now. 'Cause you screwed up my battery grab.
the way that like that you as a player are naturally gonna react if you like screw something up. Like if you fall off a lantern and you're going to die, your first instinct is just gonna kind of like spin around in a circle and do like whatever the hell you can to survive. And one of those things is just turn on glare, and it turns out glare is the thing that just hooks you onto a grapple point. And there's no like cooldown. It's not like you shoot in a direction then wait or anything like that. So you just turn on the glare and spin, and you'll probably get caught back on the lantern that you just fell off of. No harm, no foul.
Oh, did anybody update the broadcast panel, by the way, or does it still say we're playing Dragon Crystal?
It
No.
says, it says blue.
Oh, okay.
It's been, I think, test run.
Okay, cool.
But the estimate is more Master Blaster.
Okay, so this is a tiny skip right here. Normally you're supposed to go all the way up to the top, but if you jump off the wall the right way, you can actually just grab that slightly lower zip line and skip. Oh, here's let's see if I can get this lantern boost. Nope. Okay, come on. I got this in practice, like the first try. Figures. Oh, whatever. So you can actually, like, you can lantern boost yourself up to that ledge, but it saves, like, maybe 5 seconds, because you can just do this instead.
Yeah, for that boost, you generally are gonna want to be further down to start,
Yeah.
and the timing on hitting the jump there is not super precise or anything, but it definitely requires some like you have to have the feel for it.
Oh, wait. I always want to jump up there, and you can't actually fit through that spot.
And there's these idiots. Yeah, this section is actually also deceptively dangerous when you come through here for the first time. Now we're getting one of my favorite power-ups.
I'm gonna have to double check this. I could be wrong. I'm still not. I didn't write the code that tracks the game timer, so I'm not 100% sure on this. But I'm pretty sure the game timer is actually paused during these cutscenes where you don't have control.
It is not.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that then because it should be.
So, please do.
Yeah.
Cut some extra game time off of our records.
Yeah.
So, based on the testing that I did using VDub and just recording my own IL attempts,
Yeah.
it looks like the timer starts as soon as the load screen finishes before you enter a level, and ends as soon as you deal the final blow to the boss.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely not how. That was not the intended behavior, so somebody probably just broke it at some point and didn't notice.
is one of the numerous kind of frame-saving
Whoop.
techniques.
Oh, wow. And then I do that, so completely nullifying everything I just did.
But yeah, this game, a lot of it, because it's just, it's just a platformer.
Come on, get up there.
With, it's I don't want to say there's no combat, but it's pretty light on combat. Like, combat's not the focus. It's really more kind of platforming centric. So there's a ton of platform-based, like, frame savers just everywhere. Like that. Skipping the, you don't have to land where the save point is, you just go straight to the zip line.
Yeah, the save point hitboxes are pretty tall, so you don't have to actually touch the thing to get it.
Big fan of that.
Yeah, I forget exactly where I want to drop this thing, so I'm just gonna take it all the way down.
Yeah, no, we always do as well, all the runners. That was pretty fun. You actually do, you have to go below the platform. So you want to drop that battery into the socket's right below the door that he just opened. But you want to drop the battery basically where he did, because otherwise the socket won't be loaded, and so it won't actually get in there.
Oh, that's why that keeps screwing up?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to fix that too. Bug list.
Nice thing is this thing streams so then saves, so you don't necessarily write it down.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right,
I'll
just
just
go
have
through
to
the
just open a ticket and done.
Just open one ticket and link as the description or the repro steps and link this video. So this boss, as you see, introduces the lovely spin laser of death. I mean, it only does 1 damage, but still.
You'll take 3 hits, so damage is a lot.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Sometimes these guys, I'm pretty sure the likelihood of an enemy dropping a health drop is 25%, but it feels a lot lower when you actually need health.
You do have one down there.
Alright, I might have unloaded, I might have gone too far.
I'm not even sure if they unload.
I think they do if you get far enough away from them in the boss rooms. They won't expire.
Something like that one did.
They won't expire just from time, but if you get too far away from them, they will unload that way.
So yeah, otherwise, this boss, each boss kind of has, like, they're all the same boss, but they have their own little unique quirks. So this one has the lasers, but it doesn't have the explodey mine things. So this one is kind of tame by comparison.
Yeah. Okay, so I will show you the Bash Beast bug momentarily.
I am very excited for this. So Uranium Maker tells me that this is the thing that he hinted at in the thread a while back on SDA.
Yeah. Yeah, we found this literally the day before release, and was another one of those things like, we're gonna leave that in, and we were just gonna we wanted to see if somebody would find it, and I don't think anybody did, because you don't know about it. So.
Yeah, I mean, so he described it as a bug with bash beasts. Bash beasts are these big, like, moving, horrible pill bug things.
Yeah, well, back before they actually had art, they were literally just giant capsules moving around. Whoops.
And yeah, I'm not familiar with any, like, interesting mechanical tricks that just use those. We do have some minor frame savers around the Bash Beast puzzles, but I'm not familiar with any tricks using them, so I'm interested to see this. Hopefully Panda and or Human Fist is also watching.
Yeah, I hope.
Check this out.
Well, we'll just have to link it to them later. Okay, so
Nasty!
so yeah,
That's quite the bug.
Disgusting!
if you can aim that correctly, you can skip over half the level.
Oh my god. Goodbye, Ice World. That's so funny. So does that work in either direction?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how the physics behind it work, but yes, you can basically launch yourself wherever you want to if you're standing in the right spot.
Oh my god, dude. That's so funny.
And the longer you have it paused, the harder it will launch you when you unpause.
Nah, yeah, you know why we
Whoa.
haven't caught